Alright, now I think we're all set. Alright, now. Okay. Alright, okay. That's the way it goes sometimes. But now I know for next time. Super frustrating. But it's okay. Okay, sorry about that. So, I forgot you have to go and tell YouTube to auto start your stream, and I was not seeing any start button. So I've literally been, working through problems and solving stuff and figuring out Lua all throughout this, and it has not been broadcasting. So, just a normal Friday after work, I guess. So let's cancel that and let's save. So let's kind of recap what I have done so far. So I have went in and I have installed, so this is a VM to make it easier to capture. But I went in and I said sudo apt install awesome extras. I think it's nope, it's just extra awesome doc. And I went ahead and ran that. There's nothing else to do. And then I was able to log out, and I'll go on ahead and log back out so that we can, I believe I do super shift Q. Yep. So I click my username, and here's the tricky part about GNOME, or GNOME, or actually GDM, GNOME Display Manager, GNOME Display Manager. You have to actually go in here and click it now. There's no actual button at this point, and that's where I'm so used to seeing it. So you go down here, you change it to awesome, then you can sign in. And by default, you'll see 1 through 9 here. You'll also see this little icon, and this lets you kind of go through the menus. But if you don't want to use your mouse, because you're using a Windows Manager, you can control or Windows or super key R, and then start type Firefox, for example. Then I can say Control Shift or Windows 2 Control, or I keep on saying Control, but it's super. Hey you guys, sorry about that. The for some reason the stream was acting up. Yeah, I gotta work on that because it's just a little difficult to actually get that part. Let's see if I can fix that really quick. Cameras, this one, I think. So can I actually like? Yeah, I can. Okay, that's a little better. And we'll go back here. Okay. So yeah, so what I've been doing is I've been installing Awesome Windows Manager. And to get that started, what I did was I did super enter now. I did sudo apt install awesome extra, and then awesome dash docs. It's just doc. And so I've went ahead and done that. I've also started hacking on the theme. But, or I've also started hacking on the files. But for some reason, YouTube, you have to go in and actually tell it. It's really weird. So you have to actually go in and tell YouTube to let your OBS start the stream, and then you have to tell it to let OBS stop the stream. So I've been like streaming, or thinking I was streaming, for like an hour, and of course I've been streaming to nobody. It's just one of those days, but it's okay. But what we've been doing is I've went ahead and I've copied the configuration from this user share awesome folder over to my home folder. I also copied the default theme over there, and so I've been kind of hacking on those. So let's go back into the configuration and I'll kind of show you a few things that I've done so far. So we'll say them .config awesome, and then rc.lua. Oh, this is looking different. Okay, here we go. Okay. So most of this I've not really touched. One thing that I did have to do is I did have to come in here and actually make sure to use my new default theme that I've copied over to my .config awesome and theme.lua file. So that was cool. That was not too bad. So we get the editor. I need to actually go out and select the editor. So we'll go on and do that, and we'll say select editor. It's going to ask me which one. I'm going to say 2 for Vim, and then we'll go back into our file. And we keep going down. Okay, so these layouts are what Awesome will actually cycle through for its individual setups. Yeah, you now see somebody. You see somebody now, but yeah, it for so long it just wasn't working because like I say, I didn't realize you had to actually turn that option on. I forgot. But these particular layouts right here are the ones that Awesome will actually cycle through, and the order here is the order they will cycle through. So like right now, I am on the .tile one here. If I do Control or a super key space, it's going to swap to tile.left, which you can see up in the top right-hand corner here. It's a little small, but let me turn off the image so you can actually see that. And we'll also see if we can increase this just a little bit as well, because that is the important part here. So over the top right-hand corner, you can kind of see there's a little icon up there, and if I click on it, it's going to swap, but it's also, and I need to do super enter to open another one, and it's going to also flip through these, and it's going to keep on going down. So like right now, we've went through tile left, tile bottom, tile top, tile fair, and I think we're going to go to tile fair horizontal. Yep. And then we're going to skip down to max, and then max full screen. So there's max, and then we should go max full screen. We do. And then we're going to, let's swap over to this window so we get this in focus. And so this is called magnifier, which I believe is just because it has the magnifier in the middle of the screen. And then last we will have floating. And what that will do is, we're back to the beginning now. Super shift space. So now we're in floating mode. I can move these windows around as much as I like. And then I can do super space, and we can go back to this. And super space, and we'll get back to here. And one thing I gotta see is how I actually swap these two windows, like, so I can have this one here on the left. But now that I've got this open, I could say something like super 2 or super 2, and I could go over to this particular desktop. There's a www, or there's a main, there's a www, there's an OBS one, there's an Office one, and then it goes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 because I just ran out of ideas for what to use. But keep on going down here. So my awesome menu, hotkeys. So I believe this is where I can open up this. So these are all the hotkey options. I don't know why this text is so difficult to read. That's something I'm going to have to look at because that's extremely difficult for me to read a lot of this right here and right here. It could be because there's a light back here, but you know, I don't know that gray on dark or gray is really the best idea. And it said something I could add like GVim, but I didn't actually see that working. Yeah. And awesome restart, awesome quit. So I think this is up here. So let's see. Editor command, terminal. Not machine code. This is just Lua. So, I mean, if we want to talk about machine code and Google, I mean, you can, but I just don't know that I'll have much input. This is just simple Lua stuff. And my ineptitude at, you know, clicking a button in the YouTube stream opening thing. So. Let's see here. And then here's the launchers up top, and I believe that's what actually contains some of that. But the thing I was working on before I finally realized that the stream actually was not going, and it wasn't that just people weren't joining, was this right here. So what I've done is I've went ahead and created 2 tables. These are tables in Lua. So names, and then this is one table. These are the names of my individual workspaces. So main, www, OBS, Office, and then just 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this is Awesome Window Manager. That's what this is. And but it's written in or configured in Lua, which is a relatively easy syntax language-wise to get into, and it's also fairly flexible. And I've just been battling with it. Unfortunately, like I say, I didn't actually click the button to start the stream when I actually started, which is unfortunate because I figured some cool stuff out. But we have, so what we did here was we had these names in this table, and then I said that L was equal to this so that I wouldn't have to type that out each time for these particular ones. And then this layouts right here, this particular table is just the individual layouts for each of these. So like main is tile, www is tile, OBS is floating, Office is fair, and you can kind of see that right here when I actually go to like Office, for example. Now it's a different layout without me. And 9 is floating, OBS is floating. So that's and then the call to do that is right here, awful.tag, and then names, S, and layout. Let's see. There's a widget prompt to create a prompt box for each screen. Yeah, Adam, they're definitely a foreign workflow. I think that the reason I've been wanting to really try Awesome is because Awesome can do a lot with the mouse as well. Like, if I was on this OBS, let's switch back to my view here so you can actually see it. So if I was on this particular screen, like, I could bring up anything. I could say R and bring up Firefox, and that would come up as a floating window, and I could work just like that. And I could do R and do, I'm trying to think of what programs I actually have on here. Do I have, this is a VM, so let's do Office, and we'll do LibreOffice Writer. And we got that. I don't know why we're not getting it to go smaller. Maybe it's because of the screen resolution, but I can, you know, I can have these tile, I can control space, and this one looks like one that's gonna have to go full screen, so, okay, yeah. LibreOffice appears to only want to work full screen, so that would be something that I would want to set up a rule to actually open in the Office one here, and I would want to make sure that this was floating or something like that, or maximized, I don't know. It would be something to really work on. But yeah, I like the fact that this one is a bit more beginner friendly, and that you can do a lot of stuff with your mouse as well. And let's go back to this. So we're back in the floating window manager, but you know, you can kind of work through this as a more normal thing. I imagine if I had the screen resolution set to, you know, 1920 by 1080, let's see if we can actually set that. I have to look. This is a VM, so I can't really do it there. And thanks, Vince. Thanks for checking it, coming in, and thanks for the well wishes on the sub count. But the, like I say, the other cool thing to me is that this thing is set up in Lua, and it's something where I feel like once you kind of get the hang of Lua, it's relatively easy and straightforward to actually work through. Like you'll have to definitely look at what some of these actually are. So you'll have to, so this is the tag list widget, which I believe are the number, this thing right here where all of my spaces are. And let's see, the task list widget right here is this little bar up here. So that was another thing that I kind of found interesting, is like, even if I don't want to necessarily kind of work through these, I can also just click right here and actually get the window to come back up to you. So, and then create the, I don't know what the Y box thing is. And then, oh, I bet that's over here. That's what I bet that is. Yeah. Okay. So, the other thing that I would say about Awesome so far is, you know, a lot of it's actually fairly well named. Like, you know, it's this is talking about the mod key and S, and so if you press mod key, which is super key for me, and press S, and I'm clicking on the right screen here anyway. There we go. Mod key S. So I'll get this shortcut thing. Unfortunately, these are like gray on black or something for some of this text. I don't know why. That's something I have to kind of play with and figure out. And let's actually do that now and see what we can find here. We'll just use this one. AwesomeWM mod S theme. Actually, no. Pop-up show help. Okay. Widget. Let's see if we can find out how to actually theme this thing. it's, yeah, there we go. Super M is maximize, theme variables, hotkeys, foreground, background. Ah, okay. This is where this is coming in. So let's go back. I remember seeing this in the themes. So we'll go to WQ. Not an editor command. I got the caps lock on. So vim.config /awesome/theme and write oh yeah, and also I wanted to try a gap and see if we can get to 2 maybe. So we wrote that, and let's see, it was right. Where was it? Where was it? Hey there, Unbox. Let's see. So the ones we were looking for specifically was hotkeys, background, and foreground. I don't think I actually saw that one though. I see theme background, I see theme foreground, but I don't see theme. I do not see theme. Okay, that is fine. Let's try to see if we can set that. So I will put it up here, and we'll go on and insert here. We'll say theme dot, I believe it's dot widget or dot hotkeys, and we're going to use the foreground. Hotkeys dot foreground equals let's try something like 111111, and let's see if that makes a difference. Control Super R for restart awesome. It is not happy about that. Let's see. Oh, it's not happy about. Let's see if the theme actually took. Not really. So where did we have an error here? Oh, I thought for sure it would actually let me. Super, what do you, :Q, Super Shift or Super Control R. It's going to be $223, huh? Okay, let's take a look at that. So 223. We're getting an error here. Fun times. And thank you, Unbox. I definitely appreciate that. And yes, I totally agree with you, X-Plan. I am so glad it is Friday. It was a very long day, and it's been a long evening for me because you weren't here earlier. But I realized after I had started this whole thing, you actually have to go in and click a button in the YouTube streaming page to make it auto start with OBS. It's so weird. It's like there's just so many little weird things when it comes to YouTube and streaming. It was 220, somewhere right around here. But that looks right though. Okay, that's fine. It says, yeah, it says, let's see, what am I missing? I have obviously done something here that is not correct, but I don't know what I accidentally deleted. Well, what I can do, because y'all may as well see me hack on this some. So if I do :Q, I'm just going to recopy the actual configuration from so let's go to that. Oop, nope, let's go to CD user share awesome. I think I should have an RC here. Nope. Oh, there it is. No, that's not it. This is it. CD awesome. Nope, that's not it either. CD awesome, and then, okay, cool. So now we're going to copy this rc.lua. We're going to copy this back to our home directory, and we're going to reload awesome here, and then we're going to start hacking on that again, and we'll go through some of that. So user share, it's right up here. Come on. There we go. So we're going to go to conf.config awesome rc lua. There we go. So now if I do Control or Super Control R, that's going to restart awesome. And now we're back to the default. So let's go to vim.config.awesome rc lua. Whoops, that's not good. Oh, I see. CD CD home, CD.config, CD awesome. Okay, now we should have RC. Here we go. Okay, so now vim rc.lua. Here we go. So now we're back to our default. Yes. Let's see. Okay. So the one thing we want to start off editing first is we want to go ahead and change this to use our default theme that we've created, which should be, I think we're getting close to it. It's right around here. I really gotta, I really gotta figure out more Vim commands for sure. And here we go. So right here, what we want to do is we want to say beautiful init, and then we can start deleting some of this stuff. And then we can say insert home /config /awesome/theme.lua. We'll write that. And the next thing we want to do, right now we are in a floating window mode, as you can see right up here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down, and we need to edit the list of window modes that we have here. Unless I've passed it. So let's see, here we go. So any that we don't want, we can go ahead and also just put a dash, double dash in front of these to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and comment these two out because I know I don't want those. I'm going to also comment out these spirals here. And let's go ahead and comment out the horizontal version too here. And I think the rest of these are okay, except this one we're going to escape. Okay, did that. awful.layout.suit.floating. We'll write that. Alright, so mod key right now is still the super key. If I wanted to change that to something else, I could do that right here. I don't. I prefer the super key. And here we go. So this is back to where I was kind of working before everything actually started working on stream. Let's see. Yeah, so it's awesome Windows Manager, but everything, like a lot of stuff is called awful.button, awful.whatever, awful.layout. And Qtile, I believe it is, has like lazy.layout and stuff like that. So they have all kinds of, or lazy layout and stuff like that. So, but like even here, awful.widget.prompt, awful.button, awful.key. So yeah, they really played into the whole awesome awful thing. But oh, I've passed it. It's way up here. So I'm looking for a list of the tags. Right now you can see the tags up here are 1 through 9. I'm looking for that list because right around that list there are not only there's a list, here they are. So here's the list of tags it's going to use, and then after that there's a comma S, and then awful.layout.layouts and a 1. And I'm not entirely sure what awful.layout.layouts and the 1 does, and I'm not sure what the S does, but what I do know is that if I go enter and I go in a bit and I say local names equals, and we're going to call, these are going to be the names of our spaces. So I'm going to say we're going to say main www. We're going to say OBS. We're going to say office, and we're going to do one more, and we're going to stop at that. And we're going to say other. We'll just call it other. And then we're going to say local, and then we're going to say L equals, and it is awful.layout.suit, and we'll say local layouts equals L dot, we're going to do the first one is going to be tile, L dot, the second one is going to be www, so we're going to say tile is where, well there, and then L dot floating for the third one, and then L dot floating for the fourth one, and then let's go L dot fair for the last one. So now I can say awful. No, I'm going to have to look back at my notes. Ah, you got to the i3 world, huh, Vince? I understand why people like i3. I really prefer the idea of a dynamic window manager, though, so that it actually handles a lot of that automatically for me. Okay, I was right. So it is awful. So now it's awful.tag. And then we're going to do that, and we're going to say names, because that's what we put our first part in, and then S, and then layouts. And so now, this particular line that was awful.tag, and then all of these, and S, then awful. Then this, that line has become this. And so I can go up here to this first line, and provided I've actually done everything right here, I can say dash dash, I can quit that out, and I can control super R, and it's not happy, which is okay, because I'm still, let's see where we messed up here. Awful.layout.suit, yeah, we got that. Names, we got that. Got that. Awful.tag names S layout 194. We're right there, so we're clearly seeing something. I'm not 93, 94. So something here is not right. Oh, I've got a slash at the end. I don't know how I got there, but that would do it. So now control super R. Oh, still not happy. And now it's at 584. And it's on the RC. So let's scroll down, and we'll see what I have messed up down at the bottom. That argument I haven't changed anything there though. Okay. Unless I've made some kind of mistake. Isn't it hilarious that this all goes more smoothly the first time when I'm trying to, you know, type this out, and now that I'm trying to redo it because of actually having the stream start correctly, now I can't seem to get it to cooperate. It's hilarious. So we got that. Oh. No, that's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 and 5. Yeah, let's see. Let's see if what we got now. Now we're at 585. So I wonder what I've messed up here. This is the only place I've really touched beyond. Let's see. We close out that. I don't think I need anything else on this line. No. Layouts. Awful.tag. Okay. So that all looks fine. And this is where it's saying there's an error, but I don't, unless it's It's possible there's something wrong here, but I think that was commented out before. You can try to delete this. Oh, nope, it's not happy about that. It is not happy about that, so let's try to put that back. Let's check out the, it's, what is it? G. Oh. There we go. I'm slowly starting to learn some of these Vim commands. Beautiful, require beautiful. Okay. Oh, you know what? I forgot a comma here. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. Now, super control R. Nope, it's still not happy with that. Okay, we got commas there. We got those all set up here. That's where we're creating our launcher widget. Terminal. And I am checking one more piece here because I want to check the I want to check where I actually added the new theme file and make sure that I didn't mistype something there. Here it is. Awesome theme, and I think that's correct. Let's see. Yeah. Unless it's not happy with, it may not be happy with this. So let's try to do one more thing here. Let's do this instead. So let's X, insert, and say home slash. Let's write that and see if it's any happier now. It is not. Now we're at line 55, which is here. bash.config slash. Oh, is there a space? Nope, there's not a space. It's beautiful.init slash home slash bash.config awesome theme Lua. Oh, there's a close brace, or there's a close parenthesis that we need. Yep, we were spotting it at the same time, so I think I can now go back and do it this way, but we'll just leave it. Okay, WQ. So now let's try, and we should be good. Nope, it's still not happy about that end. So let's see about that. So here is 585. Here is our open and close parenthesis. Wait, is there a second? No? And we have that. Let's see. I feel like that line number is I feel like that line number is not correct because I haven't come down and edited anything here. So there's that. That's all closed off. And the one here I think is probably above us. Oh, nope, yep, it's way above us. That's all fine, I haven't touched that. So the only other places that I've really messed with are that this is one thing I definitely have to work on getting better at understanding in Vim. It's just I need to also, you know, set up a thing to add my line numbers more easily and stuff like that. But here's where it's going through that. Those are all fine. That is fine. That is fine. That is fine. Okay. So here's one area. Let's delete this line. So now we have local names equal. That looks fine to me. Awful.layout.suit layouts l.tile comma l.tile. There's 2 l.floating is 3, 4, 5. We have 2, 4, 5 layouts. So an awful tag names s layouts. Oh, and now my overhead light died. Double check theme location. Okay, that's what we'll do next. The other place I want to check is on the way up, I think, anyway. So here we go. So here's our layouts. We got all that. There, that's open and closed. We added the extra comma there. It is dot floating. I didn't misspell that. Okay, that all looks fine. Let's check the. It was line 55 that we saw that theme right around there. 52. Slash home slash fash dot config dot awesome dot theme theme.lua. So let's write that, and we'll right quit, and let's double check. Oh, I see. So ls. So there's theme.lua. So it's home.config./awesome. So let's go back and try to change this back to the using the tilde, and we'll see if that makes a difference. Whoop, wrong way. Dot config. So tilde. And Control Shift R. Or Super Control R. What am I missing here? What am I missing? Oh, I wonder if it's the theme itself that's having an issue. So let's go back to theme.lua, and it was this that I added here. Let's go ahead and insert and do dash dash, not equals dash dash, and WQ, and now let's try and see if the theme was, it was the theme. Okay, I was trying to change the foreground and background colors on this thing, because this to me is kind of crazy that it's basically gray on like black, but that's where I was trying to add that. I'll have to see what the actual call is that I need for this thing. So let's see. It was theme variables, and it was the like it was hotkeys. Yes, hotkeys. Hotkeys pop up. Let's see. I'm just checking the documentation at this point to see if I can spot what I need here. Thank you so much for joining in, and I appreciate the help, and I appreciate you joining me on the journey to 1K, man. Have a great night. Sleep well. And thank you. I am as well. Okay, layout. Let's see. Hotkeys. Nope. Let's go awful. Hotkeys. Foreground. Let's see. Widget instances. Theme variables. Here we go. Border width, border color, hotkey shape, hotkeys modifiers, hotkeys labels, and using hotkeys groups and other labels. So maybe this is what we need. So let's try this. Hey Steve, thanks for swinging by. So let's try this here. We're gonna say, so theme is there. So let's look at theme.foreground normal. Awesome. Theme.foreground normal. I'm just looking at the actual call that I need to make because I want to be sure. Because I would think it would be theme dot, but let's see if I can find anything else here. Theme assets, require beautiful theme assets, beautiful.x resources, theme.path, okay, local theme, theme font, would it be theme, beautiful theme access, beautiful x resources. So I'm missing something, Oh, well I finally got back to the point where I was before, after I realized that my theme was part of the problem here. So let's go, and right now I'm trying to get, so when I hit Super S, so if I hit Super S, I get this, and I'm trying to get this, this gray and black to be something a little bit different. So I think it may be beautiful dot hotkeys underscore label foreground, and then we're going to say that equals, and we're going to say we'll say 111 111. Of course, knowing me, I actually had the right call, and it actually is theme.hotkeys label, but I needed the hashtag or pound sign or whatever you want to call it. So let's go write that. And now let's try to control Super R. It's not happy about that. That's fine. So if it's not beautiful, it might be theme. I think it is theme. So let's try one more time. Oh, pay dirt. Okay, so there's the foreground, and I think we want the modifiers next. So let's make the modifiers, hotkey modifiers foreground. We'll go back in here, and we'll say insert theme dot hotkeys modifiers foreground. Let's make these. I think it's CC. We'll try that. I think that's a gray. Super S. Whoop, sorry. There we go. Oh, thank you. You may have to. I have it blocked for links. And thank you, Steve, for the congrats. But I have it blocked on links just because I didn't want bots to come in and start spamming. You may have to link me on like Twitter or something, or let me see if maybe I can make you a approved user temporarily here. Now, if the power doesn't go to Adam's head here, we'll be all set. Let's see. I can't seem to actually get it to let you post a link right now. Virus.web. Wow, that's pretty crazy right there. Oh, right. Super R. Okay, so super S. Ah, much better. Much better. I can actually read those now. Let's see. Let me see if I can switch that setting for you, Momo. Let's see. And thanks, Vince. I get one to cooperate every now and then. I'm sorry, Momo. I can't seem to figure out how to actually get it to let you post a link. I'm not sure why that is. You may, if you have Twitter, you can tweet at me and I can actually pull it up. Of course. It's just amazing, YouTube. Good job, YouTube chat. Good job. This nonsense. Yeah, so honestly, I find Bash to be more confusing than Lua. Like, Lua to me is a little bit like Python in some ways, and so since I know Python at least a little bit, I can more easily look through Lua. But the thing that I've actually really liked about Lua, because I've really just been kind of playing around with it this week, it's just really straightforward a lot of times in what it's actually asking for. Just because there's only a few data types, you don't have to deal with multiple different types of array type objects like you do. Like you don't have dictionaries and stuff like that. You just have tables. You have some other stuff that's more advanced, but I mean, for a lot of stuff, it's just, you know, whatever. Oh, absolutely, Momo. And I do plan to look at other people's configurations, especially once I get a bit further into this. I've really just been trying to learn a little bit more about Lua, and then also just kind of play with this and get just a bit more into it. Because I know for sure, like, let's go in and do this now, because it's going to drive me crazy before we're done. So let's go back to RC Lua. And I want to say it was down here. I definitely need to figure out the search better in Vim. Is it awful button? I don't think it is. But the Super Shift C to close windows is just super annoying to me, so I definitely will not be keeping that. So I'm trying to find that really quick. Oh, mod keys tab is shift focus, I think. Okay, return. There's R, there's X. Mod key X is a run prompt. Oh, we can run Lua code, it looks like. Mod key F is full screen, and super mod key shift C. So I don't see anything with mod Q. So let's see if we can go in and do mod Q. So it is mod key and then comma, and then just back insert Q. And let's open up more of these and say super Q. Super Q. Oh, I gotta reset. Super R. So super Q, super Q, super Q. There we go. That is much better. Oh, yeah, that is for sure, Adam. Like, I'm sure people can pick up some really bad bad habits, and that goes with, I think, any kind of thing when you're looking at a language you're not as familiar with. If you look at somebody who doesn't quite know some of the aspects, like one of the things when I was learning Python a little bit more was like I would find Python 2.7 code, and there are just different ways you have to do things in Python 2.7 that you can do much easier in Python 3. Like pathlib module is a huge help in Python 3, but for so long people were using os.whatever, and you have to import os and then do stuff from there, and it's like, that's fine, like it works, but pathlib is so much easier. And then like Python 3.6 introduced f-strings, and f-strings are the way to do variables in a string in Python. Like if you're not doing them that way, unless you have a very specific reason, you're probably doing it wrong at this point. Like you're just not adapting with the times, because to me they're so much easier to read, they're so much clearer in what you're trying to do. But yeah, it is something where that was really bad with Python, is you'd go and find a bunch of Python 2.7 stuff. It's like, oh, well, now I really would prefer to find it with the pathlib module or whatever. But yeah, that's with any kind of thing like that, if you're trying to find something good to learn from. I've been saying it's like a gateway drug. Okay, we're let's get off that. Let's go back to the theme for a moment, and let's do one more tweak. So I think the label foreground, let's change that to zeros. If I can find my key here. And let's do super RSS. Yeah, that looks a little cleaner. Super Z, and let's see if it got my super Q now to quit. Don't see it. Anyway. Yes, they really are. They really are. I remember so many times when I started looking at Python, and everybody would do these complicated concatenations, and then I saw f-strings in Python 3.6, and I'm just like, yes, that is the way. Any other way, and after Python 3.6, and I can't think of a reason to do it. And the other thing too that was really funny in Python is, before f-strings, like you could also do a comma or a plus, and I think, if I recall right, like one of them would add a space and the other one would not. I think the space would not, and so like you'd have some examples where you'd have one or the other, and it's just really confusing to new people. But f-strings are so much better than I like anything that any other concatenation method. I will say the method here in Lua isn't bad. it's not like, it's not as good as F strings, but it's not bad. Yes, and I have yet to find someone who really argues vehemently against F strings, because they are just that convenient. So, I am glad that I'm glad that we're all on the same page on this one, because it is they are just super helpful. They're just super helpful. But yeah, so like in Lua, so we got Lua not found. Huh, okay. Sudo install, apt install. It is funny that I don't have Lua installed, but AwesomeWM is running, so let's do Lua 5.4. I guess Awesome comes with its own kind of version of Lua. So Lua, so if I say L equals world, and then I say print, and I think it's something like this, hello world, I think is the way it is. Nope, that's not it. Is it just a comma? Oop, I keep on wanting to exit like I'm in bin. Hello null. Oh, and it's not world, it's hello, and then just L. There we go. So yeah, it's not as convenient as Python for sure, but it does kind of work. I'm trying to remember what you do with dot dot. I gotta look back at some of the notes again. It's been a bit. Control D. Okay, so let's see, anything else we want to kind of play with here before we wrap up. Let's see. I think for the most, like, what I'm really liking about Awesome is most of the defaults that they set up are fairly sane. They really try to ease a newer user in with all of the mouse control that they have, and the fact that like by default they're going to start you in a floating window mode. So that to me is all pretty cool, and the fact that these are just configured with Lua, which is really fast, but then also relatively simple to learn and flexible. That's something that's really cool to me, and something that I just really end up liking about it so far. I'm definitely going to have to learn some more Lua and see if I can configure NeoVim or Vim something better to handle this, just because right now with the default configuration it's just not ideal for handling a file quite this long. I mean it's fine, but I mean I can obviously have like relative line numbers and the current line number and stuff like that, so that's just stuff I gotta play with. But yeah, I think this is something where I'm really going to try to keep playing with this and get this to the point. I saw another recipe, and by the way, if anybody ends up checking this out, wanting to look at Awesome more, like there is a is this the one? Yeah, there's some recipes like this one that kind of gets you to the point where you've got a little bit of the basics done, and then there was another one here. Let's see. Awesome. There was another one here that I actually want to look a bit further into. This one, I think. It's white. It's the light background is rough, but what's interesting about this one to me is that this one is talking about making the configuration more modular. So it's actually going and really simplifying that initial file. I think it's on the second page it talks about that really quick. Config compare. Yeah, here we go. So like the awesome configuration is 564 lines long. And then after modularized, the config would be similar as the 80 lines of code below. So that 500 lines becomes these 80 lines, and you just end up linking out to other files. And obviously, that's going to create some other kind of interesting things that you're going to have to deal with. But I think it's going to be something where it's going to be a lot easier to kind of get a handle on what part of the file you maybe need to update and stuff in the future. I don't know if I'm going to go quite into as in-depth as all of this, but it is something that I'm considering playing around with because I think it could be really useful on this type of stuff. But I just think it's cool that they have the recipes out there and people are actually putting these together. Geary, huh? Okay. I'll have to consider that. I may end up looking for some specific Lua editors as well. Yeah, I definitely don't want to stick with Xterm. This is just a VM right now, so that it was easier to record without having to kind of log out and log back in. But now that I've kind of got the basics down, I'll probably end up installing this on my main machine, and actually the next time we do something like this, we'll do something else with it and actually do it there. But this is definitely something I want to keep on working on, and I want to try to do more of these streams. These are fun to try to, you know, kind of beat my head against the wall a little bit on learning some of this stuff. But yeah, I do want to try to do some of these. I need to see whether it makes sense to do them weekly or whether it makes sense to do them, you know, every other week or monthly or something. But we'll see. But yeah, it's been a really wild ride. I really appreciate everybody showing up tonight. I think I'm gonna go on and wrap up here. The studio here is getting a little warm, so I think I'm gonna call it here. But thank you guys so much for coming in and hanging out and helping me troubleshoot some Lua, and I really appreciate you all. And it's been crazy to see the growth on the channel, and you know, I'm looking forward to see what's next, and I'll have to try to set another one of these up again soon. Glad to hear it, Adam, and I did as well. Ah, okay. I'll have to check that out. The terminal in Lua that might be fun too. Everybody have a great night or a great day, depending on where you are, and I will see you next time.